Hey guys. Okay, I had two dreams last night. Both of them were pretty heavy, and both of them have to do with time travel or something like that. But the first one has to do with the Anunnaki. I just want to put that out there right now. The civilization that was here before our civilization. And it was a dream, but it was taking me somewhere and showing me from now how it worked in reverse from nowadays to way back when in the last civilization, which was the Anunnaki, when the Anunnaki made us and built the pyramids and all that shit and implemented earth culture and religion and all that. So here we go. Now, the reason I think I had this dream was because I was doing them paintings on Facebook. You know, them old religious paintings where there's the two factions with two UFOs in the sky, and the two UFOs seem to be chasing each other, or one seems to be chasing one, and there's two factions. There's the red guys and the gray guys, and Christ is in the middle, or something's in the middle. Yeah, Christ is on the cross in the middle. There's the two UFOs in the sky. And all them paintings back then, remember I was looking at them, I posted them on the Facebook group. And this, couple days later, is the dream of that, how that played out and how that worked. And then I woke up and Christ told me a bunch of stuff that was pretty cool. So here it is, I'm just going to take you through it. I thought I could get both dreams in this video, but I don't think I will. So here we go. So, I'm in Christ's... I'm in a church, a normal church. I go downstairs, and it's steel. The walls are steel, like a steel vault or something. And I'm in the basement of the church, okay, and it's all steel. And I have to go down into another sub-basement because there's a war going on, and we have to get ammunition, bullets and things, and bombs, mostly like bombs, like missiles and stuff like that, in this church. And the war is in the steel bunker underneath the church. But it's part of the church. It's like an old church, but it's steel. I don't know. It was like I was in the past. Okay, the normal church is on top. I go in the basement, it's all steel. It's a great big steel bunker. But I go into the past. And now that I'm in the past, there's a war going on between two factions, and we're one faction. And there's another faction who's coming to fucking kill us. And I have to go down into the sub of this bunker church, I guess it's a church or just a place, and get bombs. And so me and my friend were going down the stairs, and steel stairs, just like a fucking modern day bunker. We're going down this bunker, and we have to get bombs, but somebody runs up to us and says, "Look, I want you to be on the lookout. There's a special kind of bomb. It's called a vampire missile. And if you find one or more, be very careful with them and keep them separate and bring them here because they do a special thing, the vampire bomb." And I'm like, okay, a vampire bomb. I'm like, what the fuck is a vampire bomb? I mean, how cool is that, right? No, I hate fucking vampires, but just the name, like vampire bomb, fucking missile called the vampire missile. Anyway, that's what it's called. So we're down there, and we're looking through all these things, and also I find the first missile I find is the vampire missile. Okay, and then all this means something. Okay, so the first missile I find is the vampire missile, and I bring it up, and I put it in like special, and then after that, I give it to the guy, which I think was Christ. I give the vampire missile to the guy because it was special. And it was the first one I found and the only one I found. And then, before I even know it, I'm out of that and I'm back in the church. Okay? Now, all that is symbolic representation of the past war in the old civilization. Okay, like Anunnaki. Okay, the Anunnaki, I think, split up into two factions. The faction on the earth, there's two factions on the earth, or there was one faction, the Anunnaki, that created us, and the gods and the governments and all that shit. Then, they split up. Some were living on Mars. Some, the people that were here, took off and went to Mars and other places. And the war was going on. Okay, this ain't the dream. I'm just explaining what I think happened. And then, so I'm in this one faction, and I'm looking for a vampire missile. Then I go, and I'm in the church again. And me and my buddy are in the church, and we have to go down in the church and look for, and we're going down to look for not missiles or bombs, but that past civilization structure. And it's down there about 4 or 5 levels, basements, and we have to dig our way through, because it's sort of like, imagine you're in the Giza pyramid and you find the secret doorway and it's full of rubble and you got to dig it out to find the hallway that takes you down to the secret chamber and all that shit. Well, it's like this in the church. It's all been filled in, so we got to dig it all out and clear it, or clear out the rubble to get to these rooms. And then we get to the room, we find another hallway that goes down, clear out that hallway, find another room, go down, find another room, go down, find another room, go down, and finally get to this past civilization bunker. And anyway, fuck. So, and there's these 2 huge doors on the church. And it's a big ass church. And it's in, I think, Windsor. It feels like Windsor or something, Chatham. It feels like that. But I talked to the priest that runs the church, and he wants the doors to stay open. But it's nighttime, and we're in the church, and we're supposed to dig this hole, but he can't let any of the public know that we're digging this hole, because then they'll start thinking and talking. And I go, look, priest, look, we got to close the door, or people are going to see us digging. And he goes, okay. So we close the door for the night, and we start digging, and we get down to the first room. And I never even get to see the room down there, but we make it. And we come up, and the door of the church is open. We're like, fuck. And it's paramount that the people, the public, don't see that what we're digging into the past, to dig in to find this secret bunker that the church is built on. The church is built on. Now, we run outside, and we close the doors, and there's these 2 sentries or guards, and all they do is walk the street around the church, and it takes about fucking half an hour to 45 minutes. And if they see the door closed, they'll open it, these 2 sentry guys. And they're big and fat guys, but they're big. Anyway, so we close the door again. I start going down the hole, the fucking door opens up. Automatically got a ghost open it, and there's no one there. And so I close the doors again, but the sentries are coming. The sentries see it, and I'm hiding in the bushes, and the sentries see it, and they come out and they open the door. And so as soon as they go around the corner, I get up, I close the door. My buddy, I'm taking care of this stupid door that ghosts are opening up and the sentries are opening up. Jesus, the priest in the church, wants me to keep the fucking door closed so the public don't see. And that's what I did. And my buddy's down there digging. He's like, I need help digging. And I'm like, well, fuck, I need help with this door because this is a ghost. So I go to the priest. I go, the ghosts are opening the door. And he goes, well, you got to keep it closed. You can't fucking dig. He goes, I can't let the public see this. And I go, well, this is bullshit. I can't take this. And so that's what I did most of the dream. And then I came up with this great fucking plan, which I should have done in the first place. So I leave the door open. So I went and got a pylon, and I went and got some construction tape, like caution tape, and I wrapped it around the whole caution, and I put some pylons, orange glowing road pylons, there. I went down in the first room and got some old copper pipes that were laying around. I brought them up and I laid them there on near the caution tape, and then I go, hey priest. He goes, yeah. I go, I put some pylons and some caution tape and some old pipes. So if anybody in the public sees us, they'll think we are piper guys. What are them guys called that run pipes in your house? One of them guys. And he goes, hey, that's pretty good. And I'm like, yeah, yippee. So we went back to digging. So we get down and we're about one room away, one level away from getting, and I can see the bunker. I can see the whole fucking layout of the whole factions, everything. To me, it's a big steel bunker, and there's a left and a right bunker, and they're stuck together, and which represents the two factions that are fighting, but it was all one color, so I don't understand. But I can see two factions fighting. This bunker is the past civilization on the earth. And this past civilization was at war with itself. And what happened was they split. Half the was left and half the civilization was right. Sort of like politics today, left and right. And they fucking hated each other's shit. And they just fucking hated and they killed each other. And that's what that was all about. And then the church was built on top of that past civilization. And I knew that. And I couldn't understand why the church was built on that. And so I figured it must have been like hand-me-down religious crap, right? And then I woke up from the dream, and I asked Christ. I go, Christ, and he was there, and my wife immediately. I go, I was in a church and I'm digging down the past to the past civilization on the earth. And he goes, yeah, what'd you see? And I go, well, they were fighting each other. And the church was built on top of that culture. Sort of like a hand-me-down religion was formed from that culture. And he goes, Christianity religion? And I'm like, yeah, all religions, I'm guessing. And he goes, you got it right. And I'm like, I did? And he goes, yep. And he goes, now, don't fucking tell anybody about it. He goes, keep it quiet. We're not even supposed to be talking about it right now. And also my wife goes, they can take your soul, Rich. They can take your soul. And I'm like, what? I go, well, they can't take my soul. He goes, yes, they can. They can kill you. They can kill your soul. And he goes, that's why you don't talk about it. And I'm like, who could take my soul? She goes, the people from the past civilization. They're still around, Rich. And I'm like, holy fuck. And she goes, they can kill your fucking soul. And that's why Jesus or Christianity or Christ that I'm talking to, he knows all this shit. Fucking detail. The Pope fucking knows it. It's all buried in his bunker. All the fucking books you're not supposed to read, they're all in the Pope's fucking little bunker. And no one's ever going to know it. Christ knows it, but he's going to show me because I'm me. And I was there. I've been there. So Christ is going to show me what I need to know. And I know it. I'm fucking ET culture. 48 past lives, lived on 2 other fucking planets, had a fucking intergalactic war with 3 fucking cultures blowing the shit out of each other. And then here I am on there dealing with this shit. And so I've been there, done that. My soul has, but I'm still learning here. And Christ is showing me this in the dream. So anyway, Christ comes on, and we're talking. My wife's saying the fucking guys, the Anunnaki fucks that built the past civilization, that control this civilization, the left and the right, the Illuminati, not the fucking Rothschilds, not the fucking Queen. They're all bitches to the Illuminati, the Anunnaki. I fucking knew it. And this is just another dream of the Anunnaki shit. So the churches and religion of today have been built, were made, good or bad. I think for Christianity, the Christian church was built, and Christianity made it, because this is what Jesus says. He goes, Rich. He goes, they can kill you. And he goes, that culture wasn't a democracy. And he goes, it wasn't a democracy back then, Rich. And I'm like, well, from what I understand, democracy is just an ideal that let the people believe that they're in a democracy, but they're still being played by the Illuminati. And he goes, that's true also. But originally, democracy was set up as for a democracy, with Christ and the Christians built the democracy, supposedly to free us. But then that was made for us, the sheeples. Okay, democracy is made for the sheeples, but it's still run by the Anunnaki, or by the 2 factions that were out there fighting. The left and the right, the Anunnaki faction fighting, okay? And democracy is put there to shut us up and to control us and keep the civilization going. So it was like a deal they made. The left and the right, Anunnaki fighters, it was like a deal they made to give us the program or ideology of democracy. Now we're all happy, but we're still a bunch of fucking slaves ruled by the fucking Anunnaki, okay? Now, and he goes, I told him that, and he goes, yeah. He goes, you're absolutely right. And I go, I fucking knew it. And he goes, you're absolutely right. And he goes, but the thing is, he goes, you got democracy, and it's pretty good in the United States and Canada and the Commonwealth countries, right? And I go, yeah, more or less, in the democracy countries. And he goes, yeah, and that's because of Christianity, right? And I go, okay, I don't know, fuck, right? And he goes, yeah, it's because of Christians made democracy to free up from the fucking enslavement of the Anunnaki. And that's why you dreamt the church was built on that past culture. And I go, okay, sounds correct to me. And then he goes, democracy has yet to show itself. And I go, what the hell do you mean by that? And he said, democracy has yet to show itself, meaning we are still not democratic culture on earth. We are to a point, but to have full democracy without fucking sick fucking leaders and the Anunnaki leading us, and the bankers and the lawyers and all that other shit. He goes, true democracy and what we planned for new democracy, for democracy to be, hasn't been achieved yet. He goes, you think you're all this shit, but you're still deceived, you're still in the illusion, and you're still living in a lie, but it's still better than what it used to be. And he goes, it's still better than what it used to be, but democracy hasn't shown itself yet. I'm like, oh, what does it have to do to show itself? And he goes, democracy. He goes, you all have to go to fucking war because you're too stupid to figure it out. He goes, eventually, all your democratic countries are going to go to war. Maybe that's why they're introducing Islam and all this shit into our culture. Anyway, That's just my thing. It seems like that's the only reason we're going to be in a fucking war, and the next war is because all this shit's happening. And he goes, true democracy, he goes, has to be taken away. As soon as that threat of democracy is being taken away, the New World Order, then you're going to see a fucking true democracy come to light. And he goes, that is your World War III. Oh, I'm like, whoa. And I go, will I be around to see it? And he goes, no. I'm like, yeah. So when I die, I'm just going to like stay there until the fucking war's over and everybody gets their shit together here again, if there's anything left. And he goes, there'll be so many goddamn religions and factions fighting, and it's all going to be to get democracy back. And which is democracy, which is originally made from Christ in spirit world. Not, it was made by the founding fathers and all that stuff, you know, the old guys that made this stuff happen. But it was all planned up and made in heaven, brought down here. And that's why you have all these old paintings showing you this shit. And I'm like, wow. And so basically what the dream was saying was, it was showing me what I was seeing in those pictures that I put on Facebook, those old paintings of Christ on the cross with the UFOs and the virgins and UFOs and things, and all that I put up there. You can look them up on that thing, but the one where the Earth looks like a satellite, the two antennas sticking out, and the two circles, and Christ is going like this, you know, doing this, like the Freemason thing, like that, with a sticker in his hand. That was later, so that has to be. I think that was back in the where he has his hands like that. That was back in the Red Cross days, where they call the Knights of the Templar or something. That back in them days, that's when that thing was painted. And I don't know. I don't know the history of the paintings, right? I just see them on the internet and go, holy shit! Yep. I don't know the date. You know, I could search all fucking day and never find anything because I don't know how to read that shit. I don't know how to read it, understand Latin and fucking all these languages back then. I gotta read it and I spend all day researching it, trying to find the date of a fucking painting. And I don't even know where to begin. So I just go by the pictures and read the pictures for what they're showing me. But it'd be nice to know the timeline. But anyway, that whole dream represented, from now, the Church of Christ. The Church of Christ on both. Christ Church in heaven and Christ in heaven, Christ consciousness in heaven, and Christ Church of Christianity on the earth religion. And it was showing me both and how they both work together, and why the church was built on this past civilization that was the Anunnaki, okay? Now, I still got a lot of questions. Where does Atlantis come in? Was that part of it? Was the Sphinx? The Sphinx was built before the fucking Great Pyramids, the Giza Pyramids. All these other cultures are all buried under the ocean. So, from back in them days, and they're all 33-degree parallel on the parallel, you know, all the other step pyramids and stuff. So all these old cultures, these primitive cultures on the earth, the Anunnaki came and taught these primitive cultures how to build the pyramids and worship the stars and worship this shit and try to give them some fucking education, I'm guessing. And more or less, yeah, I'm right. And that's what they did, and then, but at the same time, they were fighting, and that's where, because Mars was a fucking halfway point from their planet to our planet, and I told Christ, I go, Zachariah Sitchin does all this, he wrote all this shit, and he goes, yeah, but that's Zachariah Sitchin, that's not you. And I go, what are you talking about? And he goes, well, the Anunnaki can still come and fucking kill your fucking soul. And I'm like, how the fuck do you kill a soul when you can't fucking touch it? And he goes, well, oh, you got so much to learn. And I'm like, so I can die in the spirit world. And he goes, yeah, but there's not a lot that can do it. And that's why you're a Christian. And now they probably can't do it, but they can still get to you. So you got to be careful. And he goes, you're not supposed to talk about it. And I'm going, he goes, I don't even want you putting it on the internet. And I go, well, fuck that. I go, I dreamt about it. It's going on the internet. And he goes, okay, it's your fucking choice. And I'm like, I ain't nothing gonna fucking have. I go, I don't think Christ understands that everybody fucking is talking on the internet. There's 100,000 people that know more about the Anunnaki than I fucking do. I mean, my dream here, what, 8 people are gonna fucking see it on YouTube? Maybe another 8 on Facebook? Jesus Christ. Anyway, but I was all hush-hush in the spirit world. Not in a dream, but in the astral when I was talking to Christ when I woke up. So, that was my first dream. So I got 2 minutes left. I'll cut it short in 2 minutes. So start this next one.